Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a live broadcast of WBFR Playhouse of the Air. We thank you for braving the weather this Christmas Eve, and you'll be glad you did when you hear the story we have for you tonight. It's a Wonderful Life. Very good. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this evening's program is being broadcast live from coast to coast, and our listeners are counting on your reactions as part of their listening pleasure. So, don't be shy, and feel free to applaud, laugh, swoon, or cry just as loudly as the spirit moves. I'm getting the signal from our stage manager that we will be on the air in 20 seconds. Thank you all for coming this evening, and enjoy the broadcast.
We are live in 5, 4, 3.
In New York City.
This is WBFR, Playhouse of the Air. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, young and old, old and new. Greetings from WBFR Studio A in Manhattan, New York, right here in the US of A. I'm your host, Freddie Fillmore, and it is my pleasure to bring you your favorite stories this and every week on WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Tonight, we bring you a real feel-good heartwarmer, perfect for this or any other Christmas Eve. It's a Wonderful Life. We begin our story in the little town of Bedford Falls, New York, US of A, where a number of people in the town are praying for their dear friend, a typical American dreamer named George Bailey.
George is a good boy, you know that. My son has always gone out of his way to give others a hand. Now it's him who needs the help.
Help my big brother George. He's done so much for all of us, more for me than I remember.
I remember all the times he would stay late after work and ask for a cent. The world needs more like George.
George Bailey never thinks about himself. I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for him. If it wasn't for him, I would have given up long ago. All I think about is myself. I must have taken the last cent he had.
No sense of business in George Bailey, just like his father. None of the Baileys were ever businessmen. It's his own fault if he wasn't prepared for times like these.
I can't help but think it's all my fault. Help me, Father. It's me who's putting him through all this.
Something's the matter with Daddy.
Should we pray for him, Mommy?
Yes, Zuzu. Pray. Pray very hard.
The voices carry heavenward, and Joseph, the superintendent of angels, summons Clarence, an apprentice angel.
You sent for me, sir?
Yes, Clarence. A man down on Earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse. He's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. tonight, Earth time, that man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh dear, dear, his life! Then I've only an hour to dress. What are they wearing now?
You will spend that hour getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Sir, if I should accomplish this mission, might I perhaps win my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years now, and people are beginning to talk.
What's that book you've got there?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sir. I was reading it when you sent for me.
Fine book. Excellent. Well, you do a good job with George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Thank you, thank you!
Now, if you're going to help George, you'll want to know a little something about him. Look, see the town?
Why, yes. A group of young boys sledding down a snow-covered hill and onto the ice. This is amazing!
Yippee!
Who's that?
That's your problem, George Bailey.
A boy?
That's him when he was 12, back in 1919. Something happens here you'll have to remember later on.
And here comes the scare baby, my kid brother, Harry Bailey.
I'm not scared.
Come on, Harry.
Yippee! Help! Help! Oh dear, Harry's falling through the ice.
I'm coming, Harry. Make a chain, Danny, a chain.
So his brother fell through the ice, but George saved him.
Yes, Clarence, and ever since George has had a bad ear, all that I see water, you understand?
Bad ear, yes, sir.
The other event came a few months later. George took an after-school job at Owen Gower's drugstore.
It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey.
You're late.
Yes, sir.
Hello, George. Hello, Mary. Hello, Violet.
2 cents worth of shoelaces, Violet?
Mary was here first. I'm still thinking.
Shoelaces?
Please, Georgie. I like him. Like every boy. What's wrong with that?
Here you are.
Bye, Georgie. See you later, Mary.
You made up your mind yet, Mary?
I'll take chocolate.
With coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
Say, brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from? Look at here, from Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
Oh, is that in a magazine you got there? I never saw it before.
Well, of course you never. Only us explorers can get it. I'm going out exploring someday. I was just nominated for membership in the National Geographic Society. Let me get your ice cream.
Is this the year you can't hear on? George Bailey, I'll love you until the day I die.
I'm gonna go out exploring, and I'm gonna have a couple of harems and maybe 3 or 4 wives. Wait and see.
George! George!
Yes, sir?
You're not paid to be a canary.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, George.
Goodbye, Mary.
What was that piece of paper George just picked up? It's a telegram from Mr. Gower. He found out this morning that his son died of influenza.
Oh, awful.
Yes, and he spent the afternoon drowning his grief in whiskey.
Mr. Gower, do you want something? Anything?
No.
Anything you need back here?
No.
Oh, I'll get them, sir. What's this bottle, Mr. Gower?
Never mind that. Take those capsules over to Mrs. Blaine's.
Yes, sir. They have the diphtheria there, haven't they, sir? Is it a charge, sir?
Yes. Charge.
Mr. Gower, I think...
Get going.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gower.
What is it?
Mr. Gower, that bottle you used. You put something wrong in those capsules.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Oh, you're hurting my sore ear.
Did you hear what I said? Get out of here!
Mr. Gower, don't you know what you're doing? You put something wrong in those capsules. I know it's not. I know you're upset. You got that telegram. It's not your fault, Mr. Gower, but look, Mr. Gower. That bottle you used. That bottle, it's poison.
Poison!
Don't hurt my sore ear again.
Poison! Oh, George.
Listen, Mr. Gower, I just wanted to make sure. I won't tell anybody. Not a soul. Hope to die I won't.
Oh, George.
Did he ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry the girl? Did he ever go exploring?
We'll get there soon enough, Clarence. When George Bailey grew up, he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Building and Loan Association?
George's father was in the building and loan business, along with George's Uncle Billy.
George, what's the combination to the safe?
We wrote it down so you wouldn't forget it, Uncle Billy.
That's right. Where?
Your wallet, Uncle Billy.
Thanks.
Lovable fellow, just forgetful is all.
Who's that?
That's Henry of Potter, the richest and meanest man in all the county.
Peter, Potter's here.
Mr. Bailey. There is nothing quite so loathsome as a family business. Now, Peter, you know what I'm here for. I'm on a very tight schedule. A family to evict at 3.
Okay then, Mr. Potter. Here's the thing. I just need a little more time, just 30 short days. I'll dig up that 5,000 somehow.
Have you put any real pressure on those people of yours to pay their mortgages?
Times are hard, Mr. Potter. People are out of work.
Then foreclose.
I can't do that. These families have children.
They're not my children.
But they're somebody's children, Mr. Potter.
Are you running a business or a charity ward?
Well, all right.
Not my money.
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You have no family, no children. You can't even begin to spend all the money you've got.
So I suppose I should give it to miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours to spend for.
He's not a failure. You can't say that.
George!
You're not. You're the biggest man in
All right,
town.
son, thanks.
Don't
I'll
let
talk
him
to you
say that.
tonight.
What kind of business are you running here? Good God, man.
George worked for his father, saving enough to see him through the university. That summer, though, he was going to Europe. George got a job on a cattle boat and he was ready to do a little traveling before college. Old man Gower surprised him with a gift of a great big suitcase. On his way home from the store, he ran into his friends, Ernie the cab driver, and Bert the cop.
Hey, Ernie.
Hiya, George.
Hi, Bert.
Hey, George, what's the suitcase for?
I'm a rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style?
Sure, Your Highness. Up in the cab. And for the carriage train, I put some on my hat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey. Looks like you're ready to get out of here.
Hello, Violet. Hey, that's some dress you got on there.
This old thing. Why do I only wear this when I don't care how I look? Anyway, see you later.
How would you like?
Yes.
Want to come along, Bert? I'll show you the town.
No thanks, think I'll go home and see what the wife's doing.
Family man.
George saved up money to go to college. His bags were packed and he was all set to go.
Boy, oh boy. It's hard to believe it's the last night in the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure gonna miss you, George.
I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. Hey, what's wrong? You look tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with old Henry Potter today.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought when we put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us.
I wonder what's eating that old money-grubbing buzzard anyway.
Oh, he's a sick man. Frustrated and sick. Sick in his mind, sick in his soul, if he has one. Hates everybody that has something he can't have. Hates us mostly, I guess.
Hey George, can I borrow your tuxedo studs?
Yeah, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? In your suitcase?
I'm not taking a tuxedo on a cattle boat, you know.
Say, where'd you get that fine piece of luggage anyway?
Oh, Mr. Gower, a going-away present. And one of these days you're going to see that bag all covered with travel labels. Italy, Baghdad.
Hey, why do you come to the dance tonight?
What? And be bored to death?
Well, you couldn't want a better death. Lots of pretty girls. Hey, I've gotta hurry.
I wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Well, we've got that all figured out. He'll take my job at the building and loan and work there for 4 years. Then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
You were born older, George. So I take it you've decided what you're going to do when you get out of college?
Oh, well, you know what I've always talked about. Building things. Design new buildings, plan modern cities.
Still after that first million before you're 30?
No, I'll settle for half that in cash.
Of course, it's just a hope, but you wouldn't consider coming back to the old building and loan, would you? I know it's early to talk about it.
Oh, I couldn't face being cooped up there in that shabby little office for the rest of my life. Oh, I didn't mean that, Pop. It's just this business of nickels and dimes and spending your whole life trying to save 3 cents on a length of pipe. I'd go crazy. I want to do something big and something important.
You know, George, I feel that we are doing something important. Satisfying a fundamental urge. It isn't too much for a man to want his own walls and roof and a fireplace, and helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad. I wish I felt... Well, I've been hoarding pennies like a miser in order to... Most of my friends have already finished college. I just feel like if I don't get away, I bust.
Yes, you're right, boy. This town's no place to live if you aren't willing to crawl to Potter. You get yourself an education, then get out of here.
I'm glad you see what I'm talking about. Hey, I think I'll go down Old Main Street. Last night in town and all.
Have a good time, son.
Who's that?
Why, that's Violet Bick.
The little girl from the candy counter?
That's right.
Hello, Georgie Porgy.
Hello, Vi.
What gives?
Nothing.
Where you going?
Oh, I'll probably end up at the library.
Georgie, don't you ever get tired of just reading about things?
Yeah, what are you doing tonight?
Not a thing.
Are you game, Vi? What do you say we make a night of it?
Oh, I'd love it, Georgie. What will do?
Well, we could go out in the fields and take off our shoes and walk in the grass.
Huh?
Then we could go up to Stewart Lake. It's beautiful up there in the moonlight, and we can swim. Then we could climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise against the peaks, and we'll stay there the whole night, and everybody will be talking, and there'll be a terrific scandal.
George, have you gone crazy? Walking the grass in my bare feet? Why, it's 10 miles of there to Mount Bedford. You think just because you...
Just forget about the whole thing.
Forget about what, George?
Oh, nothing, Sam.
Hey, you remember Mary, don't you?
Hi, George.
Hi, Mary.
Say, you wouldn't mind walking Mary home for me, would you, George?
Well, of course not. Is that okay with you, Mary?
Fine by me.
Great, thanks.
So George walked Mary home. Is that important, Joseph?
I'd say it is, because even though Mary only lived 4 blocks away, it took them 2 hours to get there.
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog, oh boy, gee whiz, just like in Morgan.
Beautiful.
You know, if it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know, maybe I will. How old are you anyway?
18.
18?
Too young or too old?
Oh no, just right. Your age fits you. Hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh no, don't. I love that old house.
Well, you know what they say about deserted houses. You make a wish and then throw a rock.
But George, it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived here.
In there? I wouldn't live it there if I was a ghost. Watch this. Hey, good shot, huh? Well, I broke a window, huh?
What's your wish, George?
Oh, not just one wish, Mary, a whole hatful. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm gonna see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon. Then I'm gonna come back here and go to college and see what they know. Say, are you gonna throw a rock too? Hey, good shot.
Want to know my wish?
Oh, well, of course.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. If I tell you, it may not come true.
Oh, hey, come on, Mary. Come on, Mary. What do you want, the moon, huh? All you gotta do is say the word.
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. And then what?
Then what? Then I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down and you can eat it and it'll dissolve, you see? And the moonbeams will shoot out of your hair and your fingers and your toes and the... Am I talking too much?
Yes. Why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Who is that?
Old man Collins on his front porch.
Youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, you! Come back out here, you! And I'll show you kissing that'll put hair back on your head. You come back out here and...
George!
Uncle Billy!
George, get in the car, quick! Your father's had a stroke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have to go, Mary.
George's father died that night, Clarence, so of course George couldn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan held a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor.
I want the board to know that George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here these past few months, and it was greatly appreciated. I think that's all we need you for, George. Good luck to you at school. I know you're anxious to make a train.
Yes, I have a taxi waiting downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get to my real purpose. I claim this institution is not necessary to this town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve the building and loan and transfer assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
What? Are you serious?
It's too soon after Peter Bailey's death to discuss chloroforming the building and loan. It was his faith and devotion that are responsible for this organization.
I'll go further than that. I'll say to the public Peter Bailey was the building and loan.
Well, that's fine, Potter, coming from you, considering that you're the one that drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. Oh, I don't mean to disrespect to him, God rest his soul. He was a man of high ideals, so-called, but ideals without common sense can ruin this town. What does that get us? A discontent, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. And all because of a few starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stir them up and fill their heads up with an impossible hooey. Now I say...
Just a minute. Now hold on, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father was no businessman. Even I know that. Why he ever started this penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you, nor anybody else can say anything against his character. Why his whole life was... In the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. Isn't that right, Uncle Billy?
You got that right.
He didn't save enough money to send Harry to school, let alone me. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And what's wrong with that? Why, you're all businessmen here. Doesn't it make them better citizens? Doesn't it make them better customers? You said, what'd you say a minute ago? They had to wait and save their money before they even ought to think of a decent home. Wait for what? Until they're so old and broken down that... Do you know how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? You just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Well, my father didn't think so. People are human beings to him. But to you, a frustrated, warped old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your hands on, and it's gone you. Well, I've said too much. You're the board here. You do what you want with this thing. Just one more thing, though. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can go without crawling a Potter. Let's go, Uncle Billy.
Sentimental hogwash! I want my motion!
Yeah. They're just coming out of the board meeting. I'll have to call you back. George, what's going on in there? All we heard was a lot of yelling.
Boy, oh boy, you should have heard George, Matilda.
Yeah, they're voting us down in there.
George, get out of here. You missed your boat trip. Do you want to miss college too? Don't worry about the board. They're putting us out of business. So what? I can get another job. I'm only 55.
You're 58.
George, they voted Potter down. We're still in business. Whoopee, we're still in business. We're still in business. But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? But I'm going to college. Uncle Billy here, he's your man.
You can keep him on, that's all right.
Now let's get one thing straight. I'm leaving. I'm leaving right now. I'm going to school. This is my last chance.
But George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise.
So George Bailey didn't go to college. That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to his brother, Harry. Harry went instead.
But what happened to that good-looking girl? You know, Mary?
Oh, George saw her now and then. Not very often, though, because Mary went away to school, too. Anyway, George waited 4 years more for Harry to come back and take over the building alone. Then he could still see the world. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela.
Darcy blows, Uncle Billy. Say, you know what the three most wonderful sounds on Earth are?
Breakfast is served, lunch is served, dinner is served.
No. Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles. Why, here's the professor now.
Listen, George, Geographic Explorer Bailey. Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Nobody ever changes around here, you know that.
Oh, am I glad to see you.
Say, where's Mother?
Oh, she's home cooking the fatted calf. Come on, let's go.
Wait. This is Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
Huh?
Well, I already had a surprise. Here she is. Meet the wife.
Well, what do you know? Wife.
Well, how do you do? Oh, what am I saying? Congratulations, congratulations. Harry, why didn't you tell somebody? What's a pretty girl like you doing marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
Well, I'll tell you, it's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Oh, he gets you and a job. Harry's cup runneth over. Come on, Ruth. Let's start ahead and leave the bags for the fellas.
All right.
George, about that job. Ruth spoke out of turn. I never said I'd take it. You've been holding the bag here for 4 years and, well, I won't let you down.
It's all right. It's all right.
That night, the homecoming for Harry became his wedding party. Uncle Billy familiarized himself with the spirits.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I feel so good I could spit in Potter's eye. I think I will. What do you say? Maybe I should go home. You'll just point me in the right direction.
Oh, right down there.
That way, huh? Okay, old build it alone, pal. See you later. I'm alright. I'm alright.
George?
Yeah, Mother. I'm out on the porch. I just thought I'd get some air.
Well, how do you like the new sister-in-law?
Oh, she's swell.
Looks like she'll keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
George, do you know that Mary Hatch is back from school?
Yeah.
Nice girl, Mary.
Uh-huh.
Oh, stop rumbling. Give me one good reason you shouldn't call on Mary.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Well, now how do you know that? Did she discuss it with you?
Besides, Sam is away in New York and you're here in Bedford Falls.
And all's fair in love and war?
I don't know about war.
Well, listen, Mother. Maybe I'll go find the girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Do you want anything from the library?
The library? George, you go and you call on Mary, you hear? Hello, George.
Oh, hello, Mary. I just happened to be passing by.
Your mother just phoned and said you were on your way over to pay me a visit.
Oh, my mother just called you. Well, how did she know?
Well...
I didn't tell anybody. I swear. I just went out for a walk and happened to be passing by. Went for a walk, that's all. When did you get back?
Tuesday. Would you like to come in?
Well, I guess, since I'm here. Say, where'd you get that dress?
Oh, do you like it?
Well, it's alright. I thought you'd go back to New York with Sam and Francie and the rest of them.
Oh, I worked there a couple of vacations, but I don't know. I guess I was homesick.
Homesick for Bedford Falls?
Yes, and my family and, everyone. Would you like to sit down?
Alright, for a moment. I still can't understand it though. I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
No, I don't want to be rude.
It was nice about Harry and Ruth, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's alright.
Don't you like her?
Well yeah, she's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about, huh?
No, marriage is okay for Harry and Sam Wainwright and you.
Mary! Mary! Who's out there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home, and don't you leave the house. Sam Wainwright promised to call from New York tonight, didn't he?
Your mother needed. You know I didn't come here to...
What did you come here for?
Well, I don't know. You're the one with all the answers here. You tell me.
Oh, why don't you go home?
Maybe I will. That's where I am going. I don't know why I came in here in the first place.
Mary, the telephone. It's Sam.
I'll get it. Hee-haw! Hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, great. Gee, it's good to hear your voice again.
Oh, it's awfully
awfully sweet of you. Say, there's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George?
Yes, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw, put him on.
Wait a minute, I'll call him. George!
He doesn't want to speak to George, you idiot.
He does so. He asked for him. George, Sam wants to speak to you.
Hello, Sam?
Hey, a fine pal you are. What are you trying to do, steal my girl?
What do you mean? Steal your girl? Nobody's trying to steal.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
We can both hear you. George, just put your head a little closer.
Okay.
There. That's better. We're listening, Sam.
I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, you remember that night at Martini's bar when you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Yeah, soybeans, yeah.
Well, my father's checked into it, George, see, and now he's going to build a factory outside of Rochester. How do you like that?
Rochester? Well, why Rochester?
Well, why not? Could you think of anything better?
Well, why not right here in Bedford Falls? You know that old tool and machinery works. You tell your father he can get that for a song. And all the labor he wants too. Half the town was thrown out of work when they closed down.
That's so. Well, I'll tell him. Hey, that sounds great. Oh, baby, I knew you'd come through. Now, here's the point, George. I may have a job for you. That is, unless you are still married to the old broken down building in LANA. Oh, married?
Oh, I'm here.
You tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime. You hear?
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone! Now listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics, and I don't want any job, and I don't want to get married ever to anyone, you hear? I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and you're not gonna... Mary?
George?
Oh, Mary, I love you.
George, I love you too.
We will return to WBFR Playhouse of the Air's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life in just a few moments. But first, gentlemen, does your hair resemble a dried out bird's nest full of dental flakes? Do you plaster your hair down like a cheap gigolo smelling to high heaven?
Ew, what a stink!
When girls get a gander at the tip top of your noggin, do they go,
Ew!
well, here's a friendly hint that may just help you out in the romance department. Starting tomorrow, why not try Bremel Hair Tonic? Yes, sirree, you'll be headed for success with Bremel Groomed Hair. A success with the gals and on the job. Bremel always keeps hair looking mighty attractive, always in place. A real sex appealer. Somebody likes it. Bremel Hair Tonic does lots more than keep your hair handsome looking. Wonderful Life.
George and Mary were married, and following the wedding and reception, George's old pal Ernie, the cab driver, drove the happy couple to the train station.
Hey, where are you two going on this here now honeymoon?
We're gonna shoot the works, Ernie. A whole week in New York, a whole week in Bermuda, the highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Here's the kitty, Ernie. $2,000. I feel like a bootlegger's life.
So you're finally getting out of Bedford Falls, huh? Then what?
Then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
That's it, Mrs. Bailey. I haven't kissed you since...
Hey, George, look over there. There's something funny going on over there. Look, over there at the bank.
Hey, pull over there, will you, Ernie?
Just a minute, wait. Can we go straight to the station? I just want to go.
Oh, now wait a minute. I better see what's going on. I'll be right back.
George, please. George! Well, where's my money? Where's my money?
What is this, Uncle Billy? A holiday? Why are the doors locked?
This is a pickle, George.
All right, now what happened?
All I know is the bank called our loan. I had to hand out all our cash.
All of it?
Every last cent of it.
Holy mackerel.
And then I got scared, George, and I locked the doors.
Lock the doors? Our charter says we have to stay open until 6 o'clock or we'll lose our license.
Bailey Brothers building and...
Get me George.
George, it's Potter.
Hello?
George, there's a rumor around town that you've closed your doors. Is that true?
No, it isn't.
Do you need any police? Bombs get pretty ugly sometimes, you know?
We're fine.
Real safe. Now, George, I'm going to have to help you in this crisis. I just guarantee the bank sufficient funds to meet their needs. They'll close for a week and then reopen. And may lose a fortune, but I'm willing to guarantee your people too. Just tell them to bring their shares over here and I will pay 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, you don't miss a trick, do you, Potter? Well, you're gonna miss this one.
If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you'll never reopen.
You just took over the bank, Billy. Now, just a minute. Remember, this thing isn't as black as it appears. I have some news for you folks. I just talked to old man Potter. He's guaranteed cash payments down at the bank.
How about our money, George? Where's our money?
Oh, now please, wait a minute. You're thinking this place all wrong. The money's not here.
Then where is it?
Now, wait a minute, listen to me. I'll tell you. Your money's in people's houses, you see? The Kennedy house, the McLaren house, and your house, and 100 others. Now what are we gonna do, foreclose on them?
I got $242 in here, and $242 isn't gonna break anybody.
Oh, now Charlie, you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, now that's what you agreed to when you bought your shares.
I got my money. Old man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on every dollar. 50 cents?
Now, wait a minute. Please don't leave. I beg of you, please don't do this. If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll be owning this building alone. He's got the bank, he's got the bus lines, and he's got the department stores. And now he's after us, because he wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides to charge. Well, now we can get through this all right. We've just got to stick together. We've got to have faith in each other.
My husband's out of work. We need money. I got doctor bills to pay. Can't feed my kids with faith.
How much do you need? We still got some money. Oh, we have $2,000 from the wedding.
Hey, Mary, I've got $2,000 here. This will tide us over until the bank reopens.
I'll take $242.
Oh, Charlie, just enough to tide you over until the bank reopens.
I'll take $242.
Okay, all right, Uncle Billy, give him $242. All right, Ed, now how much do you need?
$20, I suppose.
All right, now we're talking. What about you, Mrs. Thompson?
George, it's your own money.
Oh, never mind that.
Could I have $17.50?
17, bless your heart, of course you can have it. All right, who's next? Who's next?
Look at the clock. Look.
5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock, we made it. Lock that door, Uncle Billy. Boy, we're still in business, and we've even got $2 left.
Bailey Brothers building it. Just a minute. George, there's a call for you.
Hey, will you get my wife on the phone? She's probably over at her mother's.
Mrs. Bailey is on the phone.
I don't want Mrs. Bailey, I want my wife. Oh, Mrs. Bailey, that is my wife. Hey, Mary? Hello? Listen, dear. Yeah, come home. What home? 320 Sycamore? Well, whose home is that? The Waldorf Hotel, huh?
That doesn't look like the Waldorf. Oh no, number 320 Sycamore was the old Granville house, the one George and Mary threw rocks at and made wishes. Mary had prepared the house, including a turkey dinner, romantic decorations, and even a marriage bed.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I'll be.
Remember the night we broke the windows in this old house? This is what I wished for.
Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, sir, that's where they spent their honeymoon. Mary made the leaky old house a home while George toiled away at the building and loan office, providing homes for people like Giuseppe Martini.
Hey, Martini, you renting a new house?
Rent? Ha! You hear that, Mr. Bailey? I own this house! Me, Giuseppe Martini! I own my own house! No more we live like pigs in Butterfield.
We have something for you and your family, Mr. Martini. George and I bring something for all the new owners.
For the Martinis! Maria, come quick! Our first housewarming gift! Bring the kid!
Bread, so that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that life may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle.
Bailey houses were popping up all over the place, mostly owned by people that used to live in Potter's Field, and Potter had had just enough about that. So after a couple of years, Old Man Potter decided to call our George into his office.
Sit down, George, sit down. Have a cigar?
Well, thank you, sir. That's quite a cigar, Mr. Potter.
You like it? I'll send you a box.
Well, I guess I'll find out sooner or later, but what exactly do you want to see me about?
George, now that's just what I like so much about you. George, I'm an old man, and most people hate me. But I don't like them either, so that makes it all even. You know as well as I do that I practically run everything in town but the Bailey building alone. You also know for a number of years I've been trying to get in control of it, or kill it. But I haven't been able to do it. You have been stopping me. In fact, you have beaten me, George, and that takes some doing. Take during the Depression, for instance. You're the only ones that kept our heads. You saved the Bailey building alone, and I saved all the rest.
Yes, well, most people say you stole all the rest.
The envious ones say that George the suckers. Now let's look at your side. 27, 28, married, making say 40 a week?
45.
45.
45.
Now if you're some ordinary yokel, I would say you're doing fine. But George Bailey's intelligent, ambitious. He hates the building alone almost as much as I do. He's been dying to get out of town ever since he was born. A young man, the smartest one in the crowd, mind you, had to sit by and watch his friends go places because he's trapped. Trapped into frittering his life away playing nursemaid who'll have garlic eaters. Do I paint a correct picture, George, or do I exaggerate?
What's your point, Mr. Potter? My
point is that you're the only man in town who's licked me. I want to hire you, George. Manage my affairs. I'll start you at $20,000 a year.
20,000? $20,000 a year?
You wouldn't mind living in the nicest house in town, buying your wife a lot of fine clothes, a couple of business trips to New York a year, maybe once in a while Europe. You wouldn't mind that, would you, George?
Would I? You're not talking to somebody else around here, are you? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey, the building alone, remember me?
Yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, providing has brains enough to climb aboard.
Well, what about the building alone?
Oh, confound it, man! I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Is it a deal or isn't it?
Mr. Potter, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but I wonder if you'd give me 24 hours to think it over.
Sure. You go home and talk to your wife.
Yeah, I'd like that.
In the meantime, I'll drop the papers and you'll soon be managing my affairs.
Your affairs? No. The answer is no, doggone it. Mr. Potter, you sit around here and spin your little webs and act like the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't. To me, I guess, in the whole vast configuration of things, you're nothing but a scurvy little spider.
What did Mr. Potter want, George?
Nothing. Just talk nothing. Oh, gee, Mary Hatch. Why in the world would you ever marry a guy like me anyway?
To keep from being an old maid.
I was gonna build things. I was gonna see the world. I was gonna give you the moon. What have I given you? Not even a new dress, not for months. You could have married anybody else in town. Even Sam Wainwright.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon. I was gonna give you... Your what?
My baby.
You mean, Mary, you're on the nest?
George Bailey, Lasso Stork. Well, Mary had her baby.
You don't say.
Then she had a girl.
Well, what do you know?
Night after night, George would come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was really bearing down hard. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then, but still had time to run the USO. Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds. Violet entertained the troops. Bert the cop was wounded in North Africa, got the Silver Star. Ernie the taxi driver parachuted into France. Harry Bailey topped them all. A Navy flyer, he shot down 15 planes, 2 of them as they were about to crash into a transport full of soldiers.
Yes, but George, what about George?
George, 4F on account of his ear, George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Air raid warden, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. On VE Day, he wept and prayed. VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, aren't we, sir?
Yes, Clarence. You now know almost everything you have to know about George Bailey, except what happened that finds him down here at this moment wanting him to die.
Well, sir?
Well, today's the day before Christmas, and Billy's at the bank to make a deposit when he ran into Old Man Potter.
Well, Mr. Henry F. Potter. Come to the bank to deposit some more loot, huh?
Sure, you old fool.
How do you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor. Just can't keep those Bailey boys down, now can you?
Let me see that newspaper.
Here you go. Sorry I can't chat, you old thief. Gotta make a deposit.
Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Good morning, Horace. Here you are. deposit slip, bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
You too, Mr. Bailey. Say, you've forgotten something, haven't you?
What's that?
You want to make a deposit.
Well, certainly.
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
It's gone. Where'd I put it? Where'd I put that money?
A terrible thing, Clarence. Terrible. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Old Man Potter. At the same time as Billy started looking for the deposit, Violet came to visit George at the building alone.
Oh, hello, Vi.
Hello, George. Suppose you're setting up back at the house for the party tonight.
You know you're invited. What's wrong?
You see right through me, don't you?
How much do you need?
I hate doing this to you, George, but I swear I won't be asking for any more after this.
What are you gonna do? Rob a bank, Vi?
I'm going to Manhattan.
Manhattan? What's in Manhattan?
Why, everything's in Manhattan. And you start at least.
Well, what's the matter with starting a new life right here in Bedford Falls?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd hear that from you, George Bailey. I thought you hated this place.
Well, I did, but this town has a charm of its own.
You should give tours, maybe.
I'm just thinking of you, Violet. Manhattan's a big place to take on your own.
I made a decision. There's a midnight train tonight, and I plan to be on it.
Takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again. Here's some dough.
No, George, don't.
What do you want to do? Hawk your furs in that hat? Are you gonna walk all the way to New York? Meals and rent up there are just the same as they do in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, sure.
Listen, it's a loan. That's my business, building a loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey.
Say hello to New York for me.
Merry Christmas, George.
George! Uncle Billy, what's going on? The bank examiner is coming to that night.
Today?
Yeah, wants the accounts payable. What's the matter with you?
The money, the 8,000,
The money? Uncle Billy, what happened to it?
I don't know. I was going to deposit it, and when I went to the bank, I didn't have it.
$8,000, Uncle Billy! The bank examiner is coming today, and it's not our money. It belongs to the depositors.
I'm so sorry, George. I just don't know what happened.
Well, the first place you look is in your coat pocket. That's where I told you to put it when you left.
Oh, I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
Let's go then. We have to retrace your steps. We'll leave no stone unturned.
And as George and Billy were looking for the deposit, Potter had a meeting with the state bank examiner and Miss Sadie Vance.
The whole town's turned upside down with the Bailey Boy homecoming, congressional medal and all.
I guess they do things like that.
May I look at your paper?
Go ahead.
This is a deposit from Bailey.
That old fool, Billy Bailey, gave me that newspaper.
Well, you're
Going to deposit for him, right? Potter?
To think he would make such a foolish mistake. Look how much it is.
There's $8,000 in here.
What a Christmas present. And he doesn't even know it.
Just a minute there, Potter. I know you've been giving the Baileys a hard time far back as I can remember. Why?
I don't have to give interest to you. You're just a state examiner.
Yes, I am, but I am unimpressed with your buying off everyone in town. Oh, that's it! You could never buy the Baileys.
What?
You heard what I said. The Baileys have always stood for something that you are so jealous of. They're honest.
You're fired.
You can't fire me. I'm state appointed. And what's more, I'm not going to turn my back. This is stealing from the Baileys. Something like this would certainly cause them to fold.
Yes, and after 25 years. Finders keepers, you know that. He gave me the money. It was his own fault. Besides, there's not a court in the county that would find me guilty.
And we all know why.
How's your family, Sadie?
My family?
I know how little state positions pay. What would you say to a little Christmas bonus?
I want no part of this.
That's not what I've heard.
What are you insinuating, Potter?
I will not be turned down.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to pay the Baileys a surprise visit. You'll see the records. They'll be short. You know the rest. At last, the Baileys will be where they belong. Down for good.
I know just what to do.
And you can put the envelope in your pocket?
Yeah, maybe.
Uncle Billy, we've got to find that money.
I'm no good to you, George.
Do you have any secret hiding places here in the house?
I've looked over the whole house, even in rooms that have been locked ever since I lost your Aunt Laura.
Listen to me, think!
I can't think anymore, George. It hurts.
Where's that money, you silly, stupid old fool? Do you know what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal in prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me.
Daddy, did you bring the wreath?
What wreath?
The Merry Christmas wreath for the window.
Left it at
Where's your coat and hat?
Left them at the office too.
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing's the matter. Everything's all right.
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I bet I had 50 calls today about the parade, the banquet. Oh, your mother's so excited.
Must she keep playing that?
I have to practice for the party tonight, Daddy. Mommy says we can stay up until midnight and sing Christmas carols. Can you sing, Daddy?
Better hurry and shave, George. The families will be here any minute.
The families? I don't want the families over here.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Have a hectic day.
Oh yeah, another big red letter day for the Baileys.
Daddy, the brass up store have a new car. You should see it.
What's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy. Excuse me.
Excuse you for what?
I burped.
All right, darling, you're excused.
Now go upstairs and see what little Zuzu wants.
What's the matter with Zuzu?
Oh, she caught a cold. Caught it coming home from school. They gave her a flower for a prize, and she didn't want to crush it, so she didn't button up her coat.
What is it, a sore throat?
The doctor says it's nothing serious.
Was the doctor here?
I called him right away.
Is she running a temperature?
Just a teensy one.
Oh gosh, it's this old house. I don't know why we all live here. Why don't we all have pneumonia? This drafty old barn? We're like living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to stay around this crummy town anyway?
George, what's wrong?
Wrong? Everything's wrong. You call us a happy family. Why do we even have to have all these kids?
Dad, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Up to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy.
Well, what happened to you?
I want a flower.
Where do you think you're going?
Want to give my flower a drink?
Here, give Daddy the flower. I'll give it a drink.
Look, Daddy. Some of the petals came up. Paste it.
Yeah, all right. Now I'll paste this together. There it is, good as new.
Give the flower a drink.
Will you do something for me?
What?
Will you try to get some sleep?
I'm not sleepy. I want to look at my flowers.
Well, you can go to sleep, and then you can dream about it, and it'll be a whole garden.
It will?
Uh-huh.
Telephone!
I'll get it. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. The doctor said she'll be out of bed in time for her Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes.
Well, let me speak to her. Hello, Mrs. Welch? This is George Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? Sending her home like that, half naked.
George!
Is this the sort of thing we pay taxes for? To have teachers like you? Silly, careless people who send our kids home without any clothes on? Well, that's stupid.
Hello, Mrs. Welch. I want to apologize. Hello? Hello? She hung up.
I'll hang her up.
Now, who do you think you are?
Wait a minute. Hello? Who is this? Oh, Mr. Welch. Oh, that's fine, Mr. Welch. Gives me a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife.
George.
Will you get out and let me handle this? Hello? Oh, you will, huh? Well, okay, Mr. Welch. Anytime you think you're man enough. Oh, really? Okay. Oh.
Daddy, how do you spell hallelujah?
What do you think I am, a dictionary? Janie, haven't you learned that silly tune yet? You've played it over and over again. Now stop it! Stop it!
George, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, Mary. Janie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... go on and practice, Janie. Pete, I owe you an apology, too. What is it you wanted to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
Oh, what's the matter with everybody? Janie, go on. I told you to practice. Go on, play.
Oh, Daddy. George, why must you torture the children? Why don't...
Mary.
Where's Daddy going?
Bedford 247, please.
Is Daddy in trouble?
Yes, Pete.
Shall I pray for him?
Yes, Janie. Pray. Pray very hard.
Me too.
You too, Tommy. Hello, Uncle Billy?
So that's it, George. You're sure $8,000 in the books, eh?
Oh, please, Mr. Potter. I'll pay any sort of interest if you still want the building and loan.
You say it was lost. Did you notify the police?
No, sir. I haven't done that yet. Harry's homecoming tomorrow.
Why did you come to me? What about your good friend Sam Wingwright?
He's in Europe. I can't get a hold of him.
What security would I have, George? What collateral?
I have some life insurance. A $15,000 policy.
Well, how much is your equity in it?
$500.
And you want $8,000? Look at you. You used to be so cocky. You're going to go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. What are you, a warped, frustrated young man? Calling in here on your hands and knees for help? No securities, no stocks, no bonds. You're worth more dead than you are alive. Why don't you go to the riffraff you love so much and ask them for help?
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter. Please, please help me. My wife and kids.
You know what I'm going to do for you? As a stockholder of the building and loan, I'm calling the state examiner to get a warrant for your arrest.
No, Mr. Potter, please, you can't do that.
Misappropriation of funds, manipulation, malfeasance.
You can't do that. They can't arrest me.
Go on, run. You can't have a little town like this. Oh, Merry Christmas, George.
And now, more from our sponsors. Are you guilty of careless driving because windshield bug spots dulled your vision?
Yes, I'm guilty.
Stop straining to see through a bug-splattered windshield. Duck's Toilet Cake gets the squash bugs off quickly, easily, yes, even when the sun has baked them in the glass.
Remember, you need clear vision as well as good brakes to avoid accidents. You'll find that Duck's Toilet Cake leaves the glass polished so crystal clear you'll hardly know it's there.
I feel so much safer after using Duck's Toilet Cake on my windshield. It leaves no dangerous oily film to make night driving difficult.
Duck's Toilet Cake, the soap of 100 uses. It's a Wonderful Life.
Merry Christmas! Glad you come.
How about some of that good spaghetti?
We got everything!
Where's George, sir? Where? After running up to Potter's office, George ended up at Martini's bar. He's had a couple of drinks, Clarence. He's just sitting there.
What's he saying? Who is he?
Shh. God, dear Father in heaven, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, please show me the way, God. I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way.
You all right, George? You want somebody to take you home?
Why you drink so much, my friend? You don't feel good. Please go on, Mr. Bailey.
Bailey? You say Bailey? Which Bailey?
This gentleman is Mr. Bailey. George Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? Well, the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse. It isn't enough she's slaves teaching us stupid kids how to read and write. You've got to ball her out.
You get out of here, Mr. Welch. You hit my best friend. You get out.
All right, all right.
Bailey, you okay?
Who was that?
Mr. Welch. But don't worry. He don't come in this place no more. Get something for your face. It's bleeding.
I'm all right.
Please don't go away, Mr. Bailey. Please don't.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
George is headed to the bridge now, Clarence. Can you see him?
He looks like he's going to jump.
It's time, Clarence.
Excuse me, you there. Have you got the time?
My watch is dead.
Thanks just the same. Help! Help me! I can't swim!
Hold it, mister. I'm coming.
What a save for the two of you doing. This storm's not fit for man or beast. Now get out of that water. Are the two of you alright? Do you need a doctor?
No, I'm all right.
No, I'm fine. This underwear, I didn't have time to get anything stylish. My wife gave me this on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
Passed away?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer's drying out too.
Who?
My book. I left in such a hurry, I brought Tom Sawyer with me. You should read the new book Mark Twain's working on.
Hey, how'd you happen to fall in?
Oh, I jumped in. I jumped in to save you.
You jumped in to save me?
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
Go through with what?
Suicide.
It's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, it's against the law where I come from too.
Where do you come from?
Heaven.
What?
I knew I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. If I were drowning, you would try to save me. And you did. And that's how I saved you.
Oh, that's very funny.
Your lip's bleeding, George.
Yeah, I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
Oh, no, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
Listen, how do you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you. I've watched you grow up from a little boy.
Well, what are you, some kind of mind reader or something?
Oh no.
Well, who are you then?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody, AS2? What is that, AS2?
Angel second class.
Hey, you may not need a doctor, but I do.
Cheerio, mighty man!
Hey, look here, why'd you want to save me?
Because I'm your guardian angel.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself for money. $8,000.
Yeah, just things like that. Now, how'd you know that?
I told you, I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
Well, you look like about the kind of angel I'd get. Sort of a fallen angel, aren't you? What happened to your wings?
I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel second class.
Oh, I see.
But you can help me earn them, George, by letting me help you.
But you don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
Oh no, we don't lose money in heaven.
Oh, that's right, I keep forgetting. Well, it comes in pretty handy down here, Bob.
Oh, tut tut tut.
Listen, I found it out pretty late. I'm worth more dead than I am alive.
Now look, you mustn't say things like that. I won't earn my wings with that attitude. You just don't know all that you've done. If it hadn't been for you...
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody'd be a lot better off. My wife, my kids, and my friends.
This isn't going to be easy.
Yeah, everyone would be a lot better off if I hadn't been born.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
George, that's wonderful!
Wonderful?
The idea you just gave me. Well, you've got your wish. You've never been born.
Never been born?
Exactly. No worries, no $8,000 to get, nothing. You simply don't exist.
Hey, wait a minute. This ear of mine. Say something else in that ear.
You don't have a bad ear anymore. You're not the George Bailey you think you are. You're you're nobody.
Well, that's the doggonest thing.
Your lips stopped bleeding too, George.
Well, what do you know about that? What happened? I need a drink. What do you say? Do you want to go get a drink?
Well, I don't know.
Come on, come on. We'll go as soon as our clothes are dry.
Our clothes are dry.
Hey, well, so they are. That's funny. That stove's hotter than I thought. Well, look, let's get dressed and we'll stroll over to the Martinis. Oh, excuse me. I'll stroll, you fly.
I haven't got my wings.
Oh, that's right. You haven't got your wings. Well, a couple of drinks and we'll both fly. Oh, there's a place to sit down. Sit down. Oh, hello, Nick. Welcome to the best bar in Bedford Falls, Clarence.
Bedford Falls? Don't you mean Pottersville?
Pottersville? Hey, where's Martini?
Look, I'm the boss. You want a drink or don't you?
Okay, okay. Double bourbon, and make it quick, huh?
Okay. What's yours, bub?
I was just thinking of mulled wine.
Huh?
Heavy on the cinnamon and light on the cloves. Off with you, my lad, and lively now.
Hey, look, mister, we serve hard drinks in here for men who want to get drunk fast. And we don't need any characters around to give the joint atmosphere.
Oh, now come on here. Just give him the same as I ordered. He's all right.
2 double bourbon.
What about this place? It's all changed.
All of Bedford Falls has changed. You're having a wish, George. You've never been born. Oh, there'll be lots of things you've never seen before. Oh good, somebody's just made it.
Made what?
Every time you hear a bell rings, it means that some angel's just got his wings.
What did you say?
Look, Clarence, I don't think you better talk about angels around here.
Don't they believe in angels?
Oh yeah, they believe in them. It's just...
Well then why should they be surprised when they see one?
Huh?
Don't mind him, Nick. He just never grew up. How old are you anyway, Clarence?
293, next May.
That does it! Out you two pixies go! Through the door or out the window! Go on, get!
Oh, will you tell Martini?
Stop asking about Martini. He ain't here. Well, well, well. Look who crawled out from whatever hole he's been hiding in.
Hey, it's Mr. Gower.
Hey, you rummy. Didn't I tell you never to come panhandling around here?
George, look.
Mr. Gower, this is George Bailey. Don't you remember me?
Will you buy me a drink, mister? Just one drink, mister?
Binky, throw the rummy out. You got it.
Oh, no. No, please.
Hey, Nick, isn't that Mr. Gower, the druggist?
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Binky, here's 2 more. Get him out of here. You got it, boss.
Here, let me help you up. The snow is quite cold.
What's wrong with Mr. Gower?
Mr. Gower doesn't know you, George. You see, George, you weren't there to stop Gower from putting that poison into that prescription.
What do you mean I wasn't there? Well, what are you, a hypnotist? Why am I seeing all these strange things here?
Don't you understand? It's because you were never born.
Well, then if I wasn't born, who am I?
You're nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean, no identity? My name's George Bailey.
There is no George Bailey. You have no papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals!
What?
Zuzu's petals! My little girl! Some petals fell off of her flower. I told her I'd fix them and stuck them in my pocket. Well, they're gone. Everything's gone.
But you've been given a great gift, George. A chance to see what the world would be like if you had never been born.
You're crazy. You're crazy as a bedbug and you're driving me crazy too. Now look, I'm going home to my wife and kids and I'm going home alone.
You know the drill. Hands behind your back, sister.
Keep your hands off me. Why don't you bust somebody else for a change?
Hey, officer, where'd the building and loan move to?
The building and what?
The Bailey building and loan. It was up there.
That went out of business years ago. Now all that's left is this burlesque house.
Not so fast, Copper. I know Potter.
Hey, Violet. Hey, listen, that's Violet there.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I know.
I know that girl.
Who doesn't? Now get out of our way.
Hey, taxi. Hey, Ernie. Listen to me. Take me home. I'm going off my nut.
Where do you live?
Oh, now doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling this stuff, too. You know where I live. 320 Sycamore. Now hurry up.
Okay. 320 Sycamore?
Yeah, hurry up. Zuzu's sick.
All right.
Now listen to me, Ernie. You gotta straighten me out here. I've got some bad liquor or something. Now, you're Ernie Bishop, and you live in Bailey Park with your wife and kids. That's right, isn't it?
You've seen my wife?
Seen your wife? I've been to your house 100 times.
Look, Bud, what's the idea? I live in a shack in Pottersfield, and my wife ran away 3 years ago and took the kids. And I ain't never seen you before in my life.
Okay, just get me home. Step on it.
Is this the place?
Of course it's the place.
Well, this house ain't been lived in for 20 years.
Mary, I'm home. Hey, Tommy, Janie, Zuzu, I'm home.
They're not here, George. You have no children.
Clarence, what have you done with them?
All right, put up your hands.
Bert, thank goodness you're here, Bert.
Come on out here, both of you, no fast moves.
Bert, this crazy guy over here. Where's my kids? Where's Mary?
Come on, I'm going to take you down to the station.
Listen, Bert, it's this fellow there. He says he's an angel. He's trying to hypnotize me.
Don't make me use my nightstick.
Bert, I hate to do this, but...
Run, George! Run, George!
Ma Bailey's boarding house.
Well?
Mother.
Mother? What do you want?
Listen, Mom, it's George. Don't you remember me?
George who? If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
It's me, your son. You've got to remember me. Listen, I need somewhere to stay. Something's happened to me. I don't know, but I need a place to stay. Please let me stay here.
I don't take in strangers.
I'm not a stranger. I know everybody you know. Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy.
You know him?
Well, of course I do.
When'd you see him last?
Today, over at his house.
That's a lie. He's been in the insane asylum ever since he lost his business. And if you ask me, that's where you belong.
I'm here again, George.
My mother. My own mother didn't even recognize me.
Strange, isn't it? One man's life touches so many others, and when he isn't around, he leaves a pretty big hole, doesn't he?
Look, you. I've heard of things like this. You've got me under some kind of spell. Well, I'm gonna get out of it. I've got to. I know I saw Billy today over at his house. How can he be in an asylum? Listen, I've got to snap out of this. Now let me think. Bailey Park.
There is no Bailey Park if you weren't here to build it.
We'll see.
This is Bailey Park? People live here?
Well, this is where Bailey Park is supposed to be. What's his gravestone doing here? And why's the name Bailey on it?
That wouldn't be yours.
Well, my father's name is on it, but why's my brother Harry's name here too?
Your brother broke through the ice and drowned at the age of 9.
That's a lie. Harry Bailey went to war. He got the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save him because you weren't there to save Harry. You see, George, you really had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it away?
What do I do now, Clarence? What do I do?
It's your life, George.
Clarence, what happened to Mary?
Mary?
Yeah, Mary, my wife. What happened to her if I was never born?
I'm not supposed to tell you, George.
Oh, come on. I don't know how you know the things that you do, but please, if you tell me where Mary is, that's all I'll need to make a decision.
Very well, George, but you're not going to like it.
Where is she, Clarence?
She's an old maid, George.
Where is she?
She's just about to close up the library. There must be some easier way to earn my wings.
Is the library closed?
It's Christmas Eve. We can't stay open all night.
Can I ask you something?
I should really be getting home.
What is there to go home to?
That's none of your business, sir. The library is closed.
Mary.
Try back on the 26th.
Mary, I'm sorry.
How do you know my name?
All I need is a couple of minutes.
I told you the library is closed.
Please, just 2 minutes. That's all I need. I'll do anything.
You sound desperate. I'll help if I can. What is it?
Isn't this town Bedford Falls?
It used to be, but that was some time ago. I wasn't very old when Potter took the town and its name for himself.
So you do know a place called Bedford Falls?
I've seen pictures. Looked like a very nice place. But things have changed, and that's with the times. I have to go.
Mary Hatch! You live on Reed Street in a white Victorian. Your bedroom's at the top of the stairs. You turn left. You have an older brother, Marty, and you live with your mother, Edwina.
How do you know all this? What are you, some crazy man? Stop it, I'm leaving.
Listen, Mary. The house you wish for. Don't you remember it?
I told you I don't know you. Let me go!
Don't you remember
Officer!
me? Mary, just let me touch you.
Let me go!
Listen, Mary. Please don't do this to me. Please, Mary, help me. Where are our kids?
What?
Listen, Mary. I need you, Mary. Help me.
Get away from me! Help! Help! Police!
Mary, it's George. Don't you remember me? You're my wife.
Ah!
Clarence! Clarence! Clarence, where are you? Help me, Clarence. Get me back. I don't want to know what happens to me. Only get me back to my wife and my kids. I want to live again, Clarence. I want to live again. Please let me live again.
George! Is that you, George?
Now get out of here, Bert. You get any closer and I'll hit you again.
What the Sam Hill are you yelling for, George?
Come on. George. George. Bert, do you know me?
No, yeah, I've been looking all over town for you. Where you been?
Hey, Bert. I'm alive again, Bert.
You sure you're all right? Your mouth's bleeding.
Hey, it is. My mouth's bleeding. Will you look at the blood come out of there, Bert? Would you? Zuzu's pedals. Zuzu's pedals. There they are. Oh, you don't know. Bert, Merry Christmas, Bert.
Well, Merry Christmas. Get in the car, I'll drive you home.
You will, Bert. Will you do that and turn this siren wide open? Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building alone. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Yippee! Mary, I'm home. Have you seen my wife? What is this? All these reporters, these people. Merry Christmas, reporters.
Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit.
I know, huh? $8,000, I bet.
George, I got a little paper here.
I bet it's a warrant for my arrest. Isn't it wonderful? Merry Christmas. Where's Mary? No, look at all these people. This wonderful old house. Where's Mary?
Merry Christmas, Daddy! Merry Christmas, Daddy!
Kids, Janie, Pete, Tommy. I could just eat you up. Where's your mother?
She went looking for you with Uncle Billy. Daddy!
Zuzu, my ginger snap, how are you?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge, hallelujah.
George, darling!
It's Mommy! Mommy's home!
Mary!
George, where have you been?
Oh.
George.
Oh, Mary, let me touch you.
George.
Oh, you're real. Oh, you have no idea what's happened to me.
You have no idea what's happened either. Come on, George, quick, they're on their way.
Who's on their way? The police department? The National Guard? The FBI? Oh boy, I'm alive again, Mary. I'm alive again, Mary.
Come in here now. No, you stand right over here, right by the tree, and don't move. Don't move. I hear them now, George. It's a miracle. Come in, Uncle Billy. Everybody, come in here.
Isn't it wonderful? Mary did it, George. Mary did it. She told a few people you were in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money. They didn't ask any questions, just said, if George is in trouble, you can count on me. You never saw anything like it.
What is this, George? Another run on the bank? Here you are. Merry Christmas.
The line forms to the right, Mr. Gower. Merry Christmas. Mr. Martini, step right up. I busted the jukebox too.
Mr. Howard, I made the rounds on my charge account.
Find the pit.
I changed my mind, George. I'm not gonna go.
I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for you, George. Here you go, $242.
I've been saving this money for a divorce, if I ever get a husband.
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
Merry Christmas,
Christmas, everyone!
Merry Christmas!
Just a minute! Quiet, everybody! Quiet, quiet! A telegram from London!
Oh, London!
Mr. Gower cables, you need cash. Stop. My office instructed to advance you to up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas. Sam Wainwright.
Hello, George. How are you?
Harry!
Mary, looks like I got here too late.
Mary, I got him here from the airport as quickly as I could. The fool flew all the way up here in a blizzard. Harry, how about your neighborhood in Washington?
Oh, I left for any middle of it as soon as I got Mary's telegram.
How about Swine?
Good idea. Let's toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Should all the greatest be forgot and never brought to mind? What's this book, George?
Tom Sawyer!
Look, there's an inscription. George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence. What's that?
Oh, it's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy. Teacher said every time the bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right, attaboy, Clarence.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne?
This has been WPFR Playhouse Theater's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. The WPFR Playhouse is brought to you this and every week by Bramble Hair Tonic and Duck's Toilet Cake. Please stay tuned for a program of popular holiday music. This is Freddie Fillmore signing off for WPFR in New York City and wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas. Good night.